Hi friend, how are you on this Tuesday in July? We're getting towards the end of the month. It's the 28th. They come along one day after the other, don't they? I'm Pat Sloan and this is my daily video. So today I have on our calendar for Book Nook, and I thought I'd just give you a tiny little background about my books. Because a couple of people have asked me, like, how did you get into writing books? How many do you have? So I started writing books almost as soon as I started my business. Leisure Arts approached me at the trade show and said that they would like to work with me. And so I also had another book company that contacted me at the same time. So I was, talking to both of them, and you just don't do books with two. It's too much. So I ended up going with Leisure Arts, and I worked with them to produce, I think it was 29 books with Leisure Arts. I also did a book with McCall's Magazine, and then I switched over and I have done like 8 books with Martingale. So I am so excited to have that many. It's like 37 books. So it's a lot of books. One year I actually did 4 books in 1 year, which is crazy. I work with the publisher and their editors, and so I'm not doing the book layouts, and I'm not editing and formatting and all that. I produce the quilts and I write the directions, and then they take it, and I always call it the magic wand, because they do all the incredible work to make the book come to life, and they do all the photography. So that's how I work with them, and that was how I could do 4 books in 1 year. Because I was also traveling and teaching on the road and doing all kinds of things. That was a crazy year. So it's a really wonderful experience to have a book. I always feel like that's part of what I am a writer, and I like to have the books, so that you can have things by topic. Like for me with Martingale, I have 4 Teach Me books, so it's like a Teach Me series, and then I have 2 samplers books that I did with my friend Jane Davidson. Then I have some other standalone books, which the next book they have right now, they're working on it, and I don't know whether it'll be out this fall or early, like right into 2021, right as we go into the new year. It's going to be somewhere in there. I just don't know yet what the status is. So I will keep you updated. I will keep you updated. So today we're still on doing going on a picnic on Tuesday, because it's on the calendar for Tuesday. So our theme for going on a picnic today is hot dogs and hamburgers. I don't think you can have a picnic without those. Even if you love to have chicken on your grill or veggies or whatever it is, somebody still wants hot dogs and hamburgers, and that would be me if it's a picnic. So here's our block. Greg's gonna come down. My friend Anne sewed all of these blocks for me, and so she did a super duper job helping me out to make this sew along happen. I just love, this is called Goldenrod, is the fabric line I'm working with. So I loved having this sort of box in the middle of the star, and then depending on how you shade it, you get different effects with these corners filled in like that versus just a plain star. So let me turn it over first so I don't forget to do that. A lot of you like to see how Anne approached the back. Now in this particular one, if Greg wants to zoom in a little bit, she's pressing to the dark side so that there's no shadowing of the fabric in that middle light square. So everything is pressed over to the darker fabric. Then for each of these points, she pressed the seam open to give her a little bit more control, and then you can see she could see exactly where she was going right by that point, so that she didn't cut the point off. So like if when you look on the back there, the points are perfect. And she did that for all of them. All right, let me show you a couple other color options. I always think that's fun this time for the going on a picnic. So I chose to look at these. Here I did the same print, but in the aqua. And then this aqua has the golden color, so I went and pulled this really light here just to keep that same effect of the darker and then the lighter. Now I want to see one that's a little different. So I pulled out the box print, that's kind of what I'm thinking of it as, which is the same as the middle of the star. I did it in the darker though, and then excuse me, then pulled peach to do the star points. So that would be another option. This is a fabulous block. You could do a whole star quilt, picking 2 fabrics for each block with your background, and you could take a fat quarter bundle and you could make like a whole quilt with this. It would be so spectacular. All right, so there you go. That's our block for today. It's hot dogs and hamburgers. Tell me a little bit about whether you eat both. I have to have at least 1 hot dog a year. Maybe you go to the ball game and have that. We like hamburgers. We do those a lot. So let's go back to the Jolly Bar from yesterday. I put up some fabrics I found for border options. So I'm going to use what I have. Now, I'm thinking, okay, so first here we got on the closest to us is the navy with a sort of a gold stripe in it. I might have a different navy with a stripe, but that's the one that was easiest to just put up there. And then on the far side, if Greg wants to scoot over there and zoom in just a little bit, I have got a red with a bit of a dot on it. That's one of my older fabric lines. So what I'm thinking, if you want to pull back, Greg, what I'm thinking is that I would either do one of two things. I would, maybe you could just pull so they can see me for a minute. Yeah. So I would do either the background white with the little red blossoms. I would do an inner border, maybe a 1 inch all the way around, and then put the whatever one, the red or the navy. Or I might put a white, a navy, and then a red. So 1 inch white, 1 inch navy, and then the red, and then maybe bind in the navy. So I'm thinking that might be what I do. That seems like it would just give it a little bit more personality to do that. So that is what I'm thinking about. Okay, tell me what you think. Do you think it even needs a border? I kind of think it needs a border. I think a lot of them in the Jolly Bar book will, I mean, they could stand alone as a smaller quilt, but to make them a little bit bigger, you can, end up putting 4-inch borders on all the way around, and gives the quilt 8 inches more on all the sides. So I'm sort of leaning to doing something like that. Okay, yesterday I mentioned our calendar. This is the July calendar, which is what we're in right now. I am working on August. Today is Tuesday. I would say, Thursday I'll probably have it, if not Wednesday. I'm not going to promise for Wednesday, but Thursday is probably going to be when I'll release the next calendar for August. And so be watching for that. If you're not getting my email yet, go below. I have a link where you can just go and sign up for my emails so that you be sure that you get a notice when I post it up there. All right, so I have a couple of questions, or maybe we'll just probably get to one today. People have been sending me questions. I had that nice little link on my Facebook group, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan, where I asked you to give me things I could answer without a demoing or having to pull a lot of stuff around. So Stacy had a question about cutting mats. She wanted to know about the size of cutting mats, what was good, and about the length of time you can use them. It seems she has been using one since 1995, and it doesn't really feel that great anymore. Well, first of all, I think Stacy should get an award for using the same cutting mat since 1995, because that's like 25 years. That's like an amazingly long time. These are not really designed to last that long. If you're using it regularly, it's probably got dings in it, it's probably got ruts in it where you've been cutting, it's probably gotten brittle and dry. I would say you need an upgrade. My favorite mats are the Olfa mats, and I get the biggest cutting mat that I can put on my surface. So I have a big koala table. This table goes back here. I have the biggest mat, which is 36 by whatever it is, 21 or whatever they have. So that is the mat that I always use, the very largest mat. They come in a couple of colors. There's also smaller mats. I know not everybody has a big work surface. Big mats do not store standing up very well. You pretty much need to have them flat because they'll warp pretty easy, and they don't unwarp very well. So get the largest one you can keep on a flat surface. And I'll link you below to the Olfa mats. Those are the only mats I use, and I think they're well worth it. They're great mats. They can take the heavy-duty quilting that we do. Yes, that is a good one. So I really like the questions. I have a whole list of them so that each time, if I can, I'll be answering questions. You guys came up with some super ones. So today, our topic of the day was books. So I told you a bit about how I got into books. If you want today, your challenge, your part of today is tell me a little bit about your favorite book that you have in your book collection, your quilt books. We're talking about quilt books. I know some of you are heavy-duty book readers, and so we're not talking about those books today, just your quilt books. So tell me that, and I'll see you over on the Facebook group. Get all the links below. I love you. See you online. Mwah.